Look closer. The hunter is being hunted. They cling and they feed. Even predators become prey. Before we see the predator, dozens of tiny parasites are already feeding around the edge of its gills. Move deeper along the gill cover, and another crowded feeding zone appears only centimeters away. At the base of the fin, another colony occupies a sheltered pocket protected from the strongest water flow. Under the belly, separate clusters turn another soft surface into feeding territory. Even the powerful tail can move the water without removing everything already attached to its skin. Only now does the host appear, a massive reef predator carrying an entire smaller world across its body. A sudden body shake removes loose material, but deeply attached parasites remain exactly where they were. The grouper rubs against the reef, reaching parts of its flank, but not the crowded folds around its gills. Even the corners of the mouth provide protected spaces the fish cannot groom for itself. This is not one infestation. The giant is carrying separate parasite colonies across almost every vulnerable zone. The worst colony sits beside the gills, where dozens of parasites share one small patch of skin. Instead of continuing to rub against the reef, the giant begins swimming towards somewhere very specific. Waiting ahead is a fish small enough to fit easily inside the grouper's enormous mouth. But the predator does not attack. Instead, it slows down and holds its enormous body almost completely still. The cleaner begins with the skin, removing one parasite and immediately searching for another. Then it moves toward the gills, the richest feeding patch on the entire client. One cleaner becomes 3, and each takes a different section of the giant. 3 becomes 6, spreading the cleaning pressure across several parasite hotspots at once. Soon, the enormous predator is surrounded by a moving cloud of tiny fish, searching every accessible surface. At the gills, the richest colony draws several cleaners into the same small feeding zone. Then the giant opens a mouth large enough to swallow every cleaner around it. Instead of fleeing, the cleaners move closer, inspecting surfaces around the mouth of a predator that refuses to bite. Even after several minutes, dozens of parasites remain packed around the same gill margin. One parasite disappears, another cleaner takes its place, and the process repeats again and again. One sensitive touch makes the giant flinch, instantly scattering every cleaner around its head. But nobody goes far. The moment the client settles, the entire crew returns. The predator resumes its stationary pose, allowing tiny mouths access to places it cannot clean itself. But fish are not the only cleaners waiting at this station. A cleaner shrimp approaches the giant's jaw, signaling with long antennae before beginning its inspection. 2 shrimp climb onto the client and begin picking through areas the fish cleaners have not yet finished. More emerge from the reef until another small cleaning crew is working around the predator's head. Now, one giant client is being serviced by 2 completely different kinds of cleaner. One searches with a narrow mouth. The other works with tiny claws. Both are hunting food on the same host. For the first time, the darkest parasite patches are beginning to break apart. Then, another familiar-looking cleaner enters the station. To the client, it carries the colors and movements associated with a trusted service. The grouper stays still, giving the newcomer exactly the same access as the genuine cleaners. But instead of taking a parasite, the imposter takes a bite from the client itself. The giant reacts instantly, scattering every legitimate cleaner, while the imposter escapes into the reef. For a few seconds, a cleaning station that was full of movement becomes completely still. Then one genuine cleaner approaches again, testing whether the client will allow the service to continue. The group settles, and within moments the real cleaning crew begins rebuilding around it. The heaviest colony is now dramatically thinner, although the cleaners have not removed every parasite. On this reef, even a predator this powerful survives with help from animals small enough to become a single bite. Next, Sharkwa, the cleaning frenzy. See you in the next episode.